You touched on earlier in your career working with volunteers. Volunteer engagement seems to be a consistent part of your leadership. What have you learned about transforming volunteers into lifelong advocate supporters?
What have I learned? Being a volunteer manager sometimes can be like herding cats, right? And I joke about that,
Literally.
but it is the beauty and the challenge and why this is a really important field for our sector is because it can take time and effort and investment to really be able to use the skills, times, and talents of people. But
Right.
what I have found is when you can figure out how to do that effectively, people want to help more. People at the end of the day, most of the people they're good hearted, they mean well. In some respects, it's incumbent upon the organizations to invest in the infrastructure to provide those opportunities and make sure there's strong opportunities. There's been a number of times where I have seen either in my own organization, somebody doesn't feel engaged. They're not waiting for you to re-engage them. They are moving on.
Right.
You have to be proactive and in our engagement. And I don't know if everyone understands this, but that takes infrastructure. That takes hiring
Oh,
a volunteer manager or hiring a volunteer team. That takes building partnerships with companies that can take, a couple of years sometimes for the financial benefits really to pay off. But one of the things that Common Bond that we started doing, and I hope that they'll be doing more of, is that we built partnerships with local companies to provide on-site support for our housing community. So some of it was we're going to help clean up in the fall and then plant new plants and beautify your home. We're going to do some direct connection. We're going to have a barbecue over the 4th for veterans. We're going to go visit seniors over the holidays. We had a local partner who's giving, I think their first gift was under 10,000. Now they're giving $200,000 a year. And that was, probably over about 10 years. But right, that is the time and investment needed. And I don't think organizations, unfortunately, I think if you need to cut back, or we always have needs, we always don't have enough funding, that can be an area where sometimes we pull back from or don't invest in. I'm being a little preachy here. Obviously, I'm a former volunteer manager, so I really believe in the power of using volunteers. And organizations, the last thing I'll say on this is there's been studies done about organizations that use volunteers effectively. They're way more efficient at carrying out your mission. So if there are any donors listening to this podcast, I would say find organizations that really strongly utilize volunteers because they're going to be the best use of your dollar.